So last week we did alkenes, now we're going to test alkanes. So for our first experiment, we're going to test the solubility of hexane. So we have some hexane here. Just going to add some hexane or 2. After that, add 6 cm cubed of water. Notice the hexane does not mix with water. We're going to test some hexane with bromine water. You should recall from our last lab what will happen. Hexane and bromine water. The next reaction. Hexane. And some permanganate. Still separates back into 2 layers, no reaction. Hexane and sodium hydroxide. No reaction, separates into 2 layers. And lastly, hexane and some concentrated acid. No reaction, separates into 2 layers. Okay, for the next reaction, we're going to test for the combustion of an alkane. So we're going to use butane. So just from the top, just going to run some gas into this tube. Cap that. Keep this inverted while we light our burner. Let's get a splint lit. Now let's see what happens when I open this tube and I put a fire there. Still burning. Should be all gone now. Okay, so for this next experiment, I have some paraffin wax. I'm just gonna light the splint. And we're gonna try and ignite this paraffin wax. If you look closely, the wax is melting. It doesn't ignite, but also it doesn't cause the flame to out. And we all should be familiar with paraffin wax because that's basically what our candles are made of. Another neat trick. Notice it ignites back from the fumes. Okay, so for the final experiment, we're going to be cracking alkanes. So what we'll need first, well, this is the apparatus. I've already gone ahead and set up the apparatus according to the instructions. So we have our larger flask inside the ice water bath. And here is where we're going to be collecting that gaseous product on this end. Now for the mixture that we're going to be cracking, I'm going to just put some ceramic wool into the bottom of this tube. Push it all the way to the bottom. And to that, I'm going to add some paraffin oil. And I want to add it all the way down and make sure it's soaked up into the ceramic wool. Once it's soaked up, it's not running on the edges, we should be good. more small amount just to make sure we have that 3 mLs. Yeah, pretty much saturated, and it's not running when I tilt it. Now while holding at a 90 degree, we're gonna add a few pieces of our broken pot. This time I have some pumice stone, so we're gonna use these as our boiling chips. I just wanna get it in here first. Once I get some in, I'm gonna stack it up and push it closer towards the middle. So we get that stacked up. And then I just normally get something and push the stack closer towards the middle. Now while maintaining this angle, we're going to attach that to the apparatus. And now we can go ahead and start heating. So we're going to gently heat the oil while strongly heating the stones. The stones is where the reaction will occur for the cracking, and we just want to make sure as that oil evaporates off, the stones break apart those alkanes and alkene chains. So now that we're ready to begin, I'm just going to take a tube filled with water, invert that in here, and that just goes over this capillary tube. In here is where we're going to collect the gaseous product, and we should get a liquid product in here as the reaction goes on. So let me get the burner started. And we're just going to go ahead and start heating up. And if you look at this side, we already have some bubbling. That's basically pushing out all the air that was already inside the tube. It's going to push it all off first. But eventually we're going to collect multiple tubes of gas and test what those products are coming off. Okay, so we have our first tube of gas collected. So what we'll do, just gonna pull that out, quickly cap, save this. We're gonna put another tube of water and go back to heating. Finished. I'm just going to check to see that we have some liquid product. So here we have some of that liquid product. Let me dry this off. We might have some water intruded in there, but you notice that yellow almost oily product, And then gas, we collected about 6 tubes of gas. So let's start with testing some of the gaseous product. With bromine, we're just going to add some bromine to this tube of gas. Shake and mix. And that gaseous product decolorizes the bromine. Now let's try that same test with some of the liquid product. So I'll take a small amount of the liquid product. We're going to add some bromine to that. And we mix. And again, decolorizes that bromine. Just add some more bromine, just to make sure. See that orange color? Does it disappear? Yes, it does. Still has some of that yellow color from the liquid product, but the orange color disappears. Final test. Let's try one of the tubes of gas with a burning split. We have our splint. Let's grab a tube of gas and we ignite. And again we have combustion. Still burning. Finally finished.